Good afternoon, everybody. Today is Wednesday, the 24th of February, and we are very happy to be doing our Women in Business Luncheon today. So nice to see so many faces on our call today. So I'm going to get started by thanking our sponsors, Holly Schultz from BCB Bank. She's on this side. And Dr. Shaw from Imaging Interventions on this side. Welcome, both of you, and thank you so much for sponsoring today's Women's Luncheon, Women in Business Luncheon. I'm going to toss it over to the chairperson of the luncheon, our very own Sherilyn Przyslomski, who is an amazing human being and does so much for the chamber and for our local businesses. And I love her to pieces. Sherilyn, take it away.
Oh, thank you. That was a very warm introduction. Thank you. Well, welcome everyone. I'm very excited to see these back. It has been a full year. And as we tossed around, how do we do this? Do we do it by Zoom? Do we do it in person? The committee, and we decided to finally get these rolling with Zoom. And DonnaLyn, who is our speaker that was ready to roll at the end of March, everything got tabled. So we're really excited to hear her speak here shortly and have her back. And we had DonnaLyn many years ago as a speaker at a Women in Business Luncheon, where many of us actually met her for the first time. So this is exciting. Every time I walk away from hearing her speak, I'm very much impacted, and I always apply everything, not only personally, but in business. So excited. So thank you. And again, thank you to the sponsors. We're going to talk about that. We're going to introduce them shortly. And if the ladies on the committee could just wave their hands and say hello real fast. We're going to get to introductions in a minute. All right, so these are the fabulous ladies. There you go. Al, don't put your hand up. Just kidding, just teasing him. These are the fabulous ladies that make this work. They're not only just a ton of fun, but they are very motivating and inspiring with all their creative ideas to keep these rolling from month to month. And even after this year, we picked it up right up where we left off and ready to roll. So thank you, ladies, for your constant support. You all are fabulous. So on that note, we're going to go right into sponsors and go into our presentation. But from here on, I'm not going to say much more. I'm going to let the team jump in and run this meeting. So Tara, you are
Hi. Thank you, Sherilyn. I am so proud to be able to introduce my friend, Dr. Pranav Shah, Medical Director of Imaging Interventions, LLC, a specialty medical practice focusing on head and neck imaging and procedures. Dr. Shah is highly regarded throughout the state of New Jersey for his imaging and interventional radiology skills, dedication to his patients, and his integrity. Please help me welcome my friend, Dr. Shah.
Yay.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much, Tara. That was very warm. Can you guys hear me? I'm not a Zoom expert, so just want to make sure. Thank you. Well, thank you very much for allowing us to sponsor this amazing meeting. Just so you all know, I have 3 daughters and a wife, and I'm a huge supporter of women in success, not just in business, but in just success in life. So I will always be the first one to sponsor anything that helps women succeed, because you know, we're very, very close to our children, and we want to see them succeed as well. So this is a perfect opportunity for us. So thank you for having me. And Tara, thank you for that warm introduction. Yeah, we started this specialty practice in ultrasound a few years ago after I left Riverview Medical Center. And we've had the great fortune of being able to help patients, doctors, and our local businesses. So our specialty is ultrasound imaging. We do all things ultrasound. We do procedures and ultrasounds here in our office in Middletown. We also do a mobile practice where we send technologists and high-end mobile equipment to doctors' offices. So if any of you has a doctor that is looking to do ultrasounds in their office, we're the ones to call. We take care of all that. It gives the patients a huge convenience of not having to come to an imaging center or a hospital, and they can go right to their doctor's office where they're familiar with the people. So we provide that service to doctors. And we also support our local businesses by providing an amazing outpatient screening service. So we do outreach with businesses that allows us to help them help their employees. by providing screening services for their employees to prevent things like stroke, heart attack, AAAs, and peripheral vascular disease. So we do very, very high-end, low time-consuming mobile screening services right in your businesses for your employees. We have packages that allow us to do that, and that builds goodwill with your employees and also builds healthy employees in your businesses. So those are all the three things that we do. It's a win-win-win for all. And thank you again. So just want to say hello. Thank you, Tara, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Shaw.
Welcome.
Thank you again, Dr. Shaw, for the sponsorship. We really do appreciate it very
It's an
much.
honor. Thank you. Thank you.
So, Jerry?
Yep, I'm here in the basement, unfortunately. Anyway, I'm Jerry Vigiani, and I am delighted to be able to introduce Holly Schultz with BCB Bank. Holly is a huge supporter of the Chamber of Commerce, Mama Chamber of Commerce, and has always been a great supporter of the Women in Business Luncheon. So Holly, take it from there.
Thank you, Jerry. It's so nice to see everybody, sort of see everybody, right? It's just, we're getting back into the swing of things, and this is a nice way to kick it off. BCB has always been an organization founded on supporting the communities in which we have our locations, and we are continuing to do that. We worked hard to do that throughout all of last year, through the onset of the pandemic, and we will continue to do that. Bank has been a great supporter of me in my career and a great supporter of women in the business world as well. So this is a natural event for us. And as Dr. Shaw said, anytime we're going to promote women in business or women in general, we're there. You can count on us too. So Dr. Shaw, I'm going to remember you said that for our next one, because I'm also on the committee, but
no problem. You can hold me.
Just want to say welcome everybody, and looking forward to hearing DonnaLyn speak. Like Sherilyn said, I've heard DonnaLyn before. She's amazing. She's an amazing person and a friend. So looking forward to it.
Thank you, Holly.
Thank you, Holly, again, also for your sponsorship. It is a constant support by BCB Bank and you, and we appreciate it so much. So thank you. So Anne,
Yes.
you're up and you're going to have a ball with this.
We're going to try and keep this to a minimum here. Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, we are here to listen to DonnaLyn, and in the interest of time today, we do want to make sure everyone has a chance and an opportunity to introduce themselves. But because, again, we are here to listen to DonnaLyn, we ask that you just give your name and your business. Try to keep it short and sweet because we want DonnaLyn to have as much time as possible. So I will start off. My name is Ann Dubon Murphy. I am with Heartland Payment Systems, everything back office for your pay. Oh, Ann Dubon Murphy, Heartland Payroll System. Sorry, I started going into my spiel. I'm so used to it. That was a blonde moment. I'm so sorry. Next one is Al.
Oh,
I will do Al, Jerry, and Tara.
Aloisi, you're an independent insurance broker, and I help people at all phases of financial. Okay, that's it.
Awesome.
Jerry Vigiani, Lotus Blossom Psychotherapy, Wellness and Mental Health for Women.
Tara Demyanovich, proud owner of Outside the Box Gift.
Okay, next three, Joanne G, Dawn, and Carol. Mary Ellen?
Sorry, I was waiting. I was trying to unmute it. Joanne Gubitosi with Touchstone Crystal by Swarovski.
Oh, sorry.
Joanne Gubitosi.
Hello, I am Dawn Malinowski from Social Trend Marketing Solutions.
Carol Wilson, Wellbeing and Lifestyle Coach with Isogenics.
Okay, Mary Ellen, Tiffany, and Carla.
I am Mary Ellen Landolfi. I am with Word Spiral Media. I am a freelance writer.
And Carla?
Hi, I'm sorry about that. Carla Scarabino. I'm with Tigger House Foundation, Chief Development Officer there. Thank you for having me.
And Soling, Patrick, and Joanne C.
Hi everyone, my name is Soling Lee. Some of you maybe see my face before. I represent is Diane Turton Realtors. I'm a home Dell office manager. We are doing the real estate business. If you want to buy and sell home, just call us. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Patrick Devine. I'm a lender / business development officer with Investors Bank. Pleasure to meet everybody.
Hi, everybody. I'm Joanne Colella. I'm the owner of Colella Communications. I provide writing and editing and proofreading services for businesses and organizations.
Next, Sherilyn, Kathrine, and Dorothea.
Sherilyn Przomski, Business Enhancement Services and Training Consulting. And I'm a certified HR consultant.
Kathrine Dwyer, Colts Agency, Allstate.
Hi, everybody. Dorothy Zando, Senior Wealth Management Consultant, Financial Planning and Investment Management.
And next we'll have Mark, Gilda, and Lorinda.
Me?
Is Mark still on? Mark Vigiani?
Can you guys?
Yep. We lost him.
I think we're having issue.
There he is. Try again, Mark. You just unmuted. Try again, Mark. You're unmuted. Go ahead.
I think he might be talking and we don't hear him.
Okay, we'll come back to Mark. Gilda, Lorinda, and Audrey.
Good afternoon, I think it is now. Gilda Healy, Healy Brokerage, insurance services from Niagara Falls to the shores of Cape May. We've got you covered.
Lorinda.
Hi, my name's Lorinda. I just moved to Keyport, like Holly said, last September. I am an entrepreneur. I've written a few children's books, artist, and I also am a certified health coach, everything nutrition and wellness. CUNU.com is my website. Nice meeting you.
And Audrey.
Hi, everyone. Audrey Tesora, professional organizer and owner of Right Touch Organizing Services. I specialize in creating a calm, compassionate, and judgment-free experience during times of transition.
Okay, Francis, Erika, and Bonnie. Is Francis not on?
I gave my whole spiel and I was muted. My name's Fran Keene. I work at Central State Healthcare System and I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Erika Boyer, Edward Jones here in Marlboro, New Jersey, financial advisor helping you with your plans.
Good afternoon, Bonnie Preston. I'm a certified insurance counselor with Conover Buyer Insurance, a property and casualty insurance agency.
Debbie, Tony, and Beatrice. Is Debbie not?
Hold on, Debbie.
Okay, Tony, Beatrice, and Danielle.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tony Pitts. I'm with United Way of Monmouth and Ocean County. I'm the development manager there. Thank you for having us. Great to see everyone.
Hi, I am Danielle Woolley. My personal business is Danielle Woolley Consulting, and my full-time job and career is at WorkWave. I just got a promotion, so my new role is Strategic Customer Success Consultant. Nice to be here.
I'm Beatrice Osterhel from Community Affairs and Resource Center. I'm the Executive Director, and we're a nonprofit organization. Thank you.
Okay, Mitali, and we'll try Mark again.
Hi, Mitali Vasa from CMIT Solutions. My primary specialty is network services. We are your local IT solutions provider. We specialize in security and planning for technology and network for a local desktop to cloud solutions. If you want to give us a call for a free dark web scan, we can help you see what we can help you with your technological needs.
You guys hear me now?
Yes.
All right, I just took my mic out. Okay, Mark Vigiani, full-time real estate professional. I'm with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Fox Road Realtors out of Homedale. Have a great day, gang.
And then Laura, Carrie, and Therese.
Hello, everyone. Laura Matlaga, Pica Wellness, working with Young Living Essential Oil supplements and Sophia non-toxic home. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Good to see you. I'm Carrie Kwiatkowski. Sorry, Business Development Manager at The Connection, where I manage IT service provider. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. So nice to meet everybody. My name is Therese Roque. I'm the Executive Director of the Monmouth Regional Chamber of Commerce. Thank you.
And we'll try, I see Debbie back here. Debbie, can you chime in?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Debbie Wagner-Ambarini, and I work for Tom's Ford in sales and display.
Is there anyone I've missed? I think we're good to go. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, sorry. This is Tiffany. Sorry, I
Tiffany,
lost
I'm
connection.
sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Hi, everyone. Owner of Howell Driving School and Jeans Driving School. We handle all your driver education needs. Nice to see everyone.
Okay, Charlene, I think that's it.
Thank you. And I know that's not an easy task when you're doing this on Zoom, because if you try to do it by the, by pictures, everything changes once you start that whole process. So, and thanks everyone. That gives us a great, or actually DonnaLyn, so that she knows who's in the house. So thank you again. And I did make a little note, if you could put more details about your business in the chat box. So moving along here, Bonnie, you're up.
Yep. Hello, everyone. I have the honor of introducing DonnaLyn and telling you a little bit about her. DonnaLyn Giegerich. She owns DLG Consulting, which helps leaders succeed. She has 30 years of integrated business success in financial services, conference keynoting, college teaching, and resilient community service to others to achieve their professional and personal goals. She's addressed, coached, and consulted with thousands of industry executives and life leaders at international and national business empowerment conferences from California to Cornell. Once DonnaLyn touches your life, you remember it forever. She empowers us to be better and to be true leaders. So I hope you all enjoyed today's luncheon. Thank you. And now, DonnaLyn, you're up.
And if everyone can mute.
Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you for the warm introduction. I'd like to thank, obviously, the sponsors. Holly, I'm not going to try to one-up you today on what a small world it is with reconnecting with an old friend here on Zoom at the Monmouth Regional Chamber, but I have a very close professional affection for Dr. Pranav Shah. So I can't even thank Tara for bringing us together, and I have goosebumps just seeing Dr. Shah in this Zoom room. My hashtag comment is more life, hashtag gratitude. Dr. Shah introduced himself as a head and neck specialist, but let me tell you, he's also masterful at internal bleeds, and he is a torso king and a gut shaman. So thank you for keeping me alive, Dr. Shah. I am honoring your professional work every day at the intersection of business ownership, conference speaking, wellness advocacy, and community service. So I want to thank you for stepping up and doing the speaker sponsorship, particularly today. I can't thank you enough. If I could give you a big bear hug, I would. So in the meantime, it's just a big virtual hug. And I'll be sure to be promoting your business, Dr. Shah. You can be certain of that. So thank you for more life. My goal today, folks, is to share with you 3 trends that I'm seeing in the consulting space as a corporate keynoter, although the conferences have now been all virtual in the last year, but I have spent 10 years traveling around the country from California to Cornell, as Bonnie mentioned, trying to help leaders succeed. And what that actually looks like is usually some behavioral modifications amongst 5 generations of professional workers to get along, to get work done more efficiently, more lovingly, in the spirit of kindness and collaboration. And this whole COVID thing has turned everything upside down, but there's still a few themes that are timeless that I'm going to share with you today. So the reason to listen today is because so many of us as small business owners and entrepreneurs is we have a tendency to be very tactical and to be immersed in working in our businesses instead of working on our businesses. So I'm hoping the 3 trends that I'm going to talk about today will specifically give you pause and give you a moment to think about, wow, how can I push back a little bit and not work so hard necessarily in my business, but work on my business according to what's trending right now. So I'm going to put you to work because I'm a big believer in engagement and getting you to work, but I'm going to go old school because I don't have the time to have you download one of my gamification favorite apps called Kahoot that I use in the college classroom to quiz you on content and concepts. So with your pencil, and for your eyes only, nobody is going to be asking you to self-reveal, did I pass the quiz? Did I get an A? This is just for your information only. Sharpen your pencil and on a piece of paper, write 1, 2, and 3. 3 questions, 3 true and false answers, simple, okay? So here we go, because I'm a big believer in being brief, being brilliant, and being gone. I have my watch set, Sherilyn. I promise you I will be done in 15, 20 minutes max because I want to take questions. And I do encourage participants, if they want to hit the chat box, I will be looking at it, or raise your hand if there's a burning question that can't wait. Feel free to just chime in because this is a conversation. We all learn by engaging, okay? So question number 1, true or false? The phrase, okay, boomer, is pejorative. True or false? Again, the phrase, okay, boomer, is pejorative. And for those of you that are Googling what the heck does pejorative mean, it means it's a contemptuous phrase. In other words, it's expressing disapproval. So if you hear somebody say, okay, boomer, is that an upright? Is that a positive bravo expression? Or is that a eye-rolling, disapproving, contemptuous phrase? True or false? Okay, boomer. On to number 2, technoference. The word technoference is a term specific to the stock market. True or false? And I know my friends Erika at Edward Jones and Dorothea at Rosso, you will get this correct, hands down. The word technoference is a term specific to the stock market. True or false? Number 3. Today, the millennial cohort is approaching age 40. True or false? Last time today, the millennials amongst us, the millennial cohort, they're approaching age 40. True or false? Why do we care? Why do these questions introduce an opportunity for us to have a conversation about what's trending today? Well, the fact of the matter is, if you are forthright, how many of you got the okay boomer as a true? That is a contemptuous, disapproving conversational phrase that you want to avoid at all costs, especially if you are a boomer or a traditionalist, someone who's trending over 70, somebody who's known as the greatest generation. The boomers are those amongst us that were born age 1964 is pretty much the cutoff. So if you're about 57 to 70, you're a boomer. And if you have young people in your life that are rolling their eyes when you say something in the leadership space, okay, boomer, that means you're old school. So today, I'm hoping that some of the content that I'm going to bring to you is going to help you avoid that disparaging, contemptuous eyeball rolling look, because we all want to be hip and happening because we are working amidst 5 generations. That is a very different place relative to what our forebearers or forefathers and mothers worked in. And today more than ever, because we're not physically with people, we're with screens, not always on a camera on policy, it's important for us to stay current and to be aware of the fact that we are working within 5 generations. So most of us, based on the introductions that I've just witnessed, are familiar with the traditionalists. They are the people that are still holding a lot of power in corporate America. Don't think that if you are over 70 that you're retired in Naples. Not necessarily. I am working with an awful lot of really bright, vibrant people that are over 70 that are still wielding a pretty forceful pen in the corporate space, in family-owned businesses that are still developing policies and granting the final nod on what's happening operationally with companies. I do agree, however, that most of the folks in the business space do fall into the boomer category, and I think most of us are comfortable there. Those are the people that are known as the can-do. There's 69 million of us. The can-do me generation that claims to be more emotionally available than our parents were to their children, but then on the flip side, helicopter parents, age 57 to 70, that have had expansive careers and continue to do so. The next cohort is the Gen Xers. We have 65 million Gen Xers. Their generational mantra is get real. They're at about 40 to 57 years of age. And then the millennials are most of the cohort that we're working with, and that's the we can fix it generation. They're the ones who are usually rolling their eyeballs at the boomers and saying, okay, boomer, born between 1980 and 2000. And they are now between age 20 and age 40. And why is that important? Because most of us are still thinking that millennials are the kids. They're the really young people. Well, no, now they're graying as they approach age 40. So it's important to be mindful that whether you're selling amongst the 5 generations, hiring amongst the 5 generations, leading amongst the 5 generations, that the millennials are not the baby-faced kids anymore. They're actually approaching 40. And so I wanted to open up today with a little bit of a reality check around who are the 5 generations. So you'll notice I quickly covered the traditionalists over 70, the boomers that I think most of us are comfortable with, the Gen Xers that most of us are comfortable with working since they're 40 to 57 years of age, the millennials that are coming up that invariably we may feel a little challenged by because of some of those stereotypes around they're spoiled, they're lazy, they're on their phones all the time. But I'm going to challenge you on that. They're really bright. The millennials that I've been working with in the corporate space are tremendous assets to the business, the brand, the development of the companies. And I want to give credence now to the last and final cohort, which is Gen Z. Gen Z is also known as iGen. They are anyone under 20 years of age, and they are a fascinating cohort coming up. So there are 87 million Gen Zers. They are under 20 years of age, and their generational mantra is you do you, or that's not my jam. Does anybody have the luxury of working with any Gen Zers yet? Okay, be ready, because that's going to be the third trend I'm going to talk about today. So what I want to talk about is the first trend, which is all about why this generational teamwork emphasis, that's trend number 1, is so important today. I've reviewed these 5 cohorts because I think a lot of us get lost in our day-to-day and they're not realizing that we have so much talent and so much diversion in leadership styles amongst us that if we're really good at what we're doing as leaders, we're building awareness around those 5 generations and we're finding ways to fold them into whatever it is that we're bringing forth in the world, whether we're training, whether we're consulting, whether we're financial planning, selling wellness, selling real estate. We are now immersed within these 5 very diverse, culturally different, very different preference generational cohorts. I was in Las Vegas a year ago before things closed down with COVID, speaking to the National Association of Insurance Premium Auditors, which is a male, white male, heavy, old school cohort. They are still obviously in leadership and they are dying for new talent. So they hired me to come in and talk about what's trending with young leaders and how can we get these young leaders to step up and be easier to work with. Because according to the meeting planners that hired me, all these millennials and Z generational kids are lazy, spoiled, and non-working. And so I got up on the podium and I opened up with this one single sentence. I love millennials. There was dead silence in the front of the room because all the senior leadership thought I was going to disparage the young people to the advantage of helping the older crowd get what they wanted. And what they soon found out was that that is not the proposition that I am putting forth, nor should any of us try to be changing any of the cohorts. Instead, we should be loving people and practicing curiosity and understanding to find out how we can fold all of our strengths together. So a lot of the one-on-one coaching that I'm doing, or a lot of the conference speaking or the small group breakout presentations that I'm doing in corporations are all around this notion of dropping off our biases, dropping off our demands around what should be, and instead embracing what is. And so I just am sharing that with you because I'm very, very passionate about it, because I'm seeing great progress in the workspace amongst all levels and all age leaders now, learning to be more open-minded and to find ways to get solutions that are efficient, effective, hip, trending, leveraging everybody's gifts. I was then invited to speak at Verisk, which is an international conference at the end of 2019, which is a fintech conference. It was actually in Jersey City, but it had international experts in technology, insurance, etc. And they hired me to talk about HR trends. And so all the work that Cheryl Lynn and I have been doing through our SHRM certification, you know, Cheryl Lynn is legit. I have not taken the national exam yet because I'm still dragging my feet. So good for you, Cheryl Lynn. But I've completed all the coursework. And so I used some of that content to bring some of the middle-aged and the older. So it was Gen Y and the baby boomers and the traditionalists up to speed on what's happening with gender expansiveness, LGBTQ issues. I mean, there were feedback threads coming to me real time on Instagram from the young millennials in the room saying, thank you so much. This is unbelievable. We have been unheard, swept under the rug, disparaged, made fun of, not accepted, while I'm also fielding threads from the older, I don't want to label, but the leadership, which is saying, you're speaking Hungarian. What are you talking about? As soon as I started talking about some of what's trending in terms of HR terms, they were out in left field. So I guess some speakers and some workshop leaders would have been discouraged, but I said, oh my gosh, I'm going to now do webinars and forge this big generational divide. So trend number one is, if your eyes are not open about embracing all 5 of these generational cohorts and doing a deeper dive on understanding what's driving them, what they like, what they're about, I absolutely encourage you and I implore you to do it. Your business, your relationships will thrive as a result. I did some one-on-one coaching with a 30-year-old who is actually leaving his New York-based business. He works for one of the biggest global pharma innovators, and he's going to Costa Rica with his laptop because he's very good at what he does, but he is unencumbered, no mortgage, no family, no obligations here just yet. and he is going to see the world with his laptop as a data scientist for one of the greatest global leaders that we have here in New Jersey. Things are changing. We are not strapped to our desks. We shouldn't require other people to do that just because we were raised in that way. There are really significant, interesting things that are happening in the workplace. Second major trend, COVID is not going away. Now, I am an optimist. I am aware that we are getting our vaccines rolled out. We are developing herd immunity. Things are starting to open up, and those are all good things. But COVID is not going away because there is this long tail called mental health issues, depression, anxiety. We have people in the corporate space that are still reeling from the severity of the shift that they have had to survive and thrive through, if they can even describe themselves as thriving through. So I loved what the chamber leadership did last week with Kathrine on the forefront of making a fun virtual app style Canva laugh day connection, because we absolutely have to do things that are upbeat, positive, celebrating milestones, whether for you it's we have a new president, or spring is coming, or the snow is melting, or I'm meeting new people because I'm learning new apps. Forbes did an article in February of this year, ways to better connect and strengthen your remote COVID culture and ties. And at the top of that article, it was gamify and appify everything. So the chamber here is already doing it with Canva. You showcased that, and Dawn also did a beautiful job. The technical term for conversing online and going back and forth with one another is called comment marketing. And I think Dawn was highlighting that very well last week while she was helping us get more comfortable with being virtual collaborators and communicators. For those of you that are still a little reticent about jumping into apps, I encourage you to use polls, share your screens, use your breakout rooms, quantify everything that you want to communicate online and try to gamify it. Some of the games that my corporate teams have been utilizing with great success, although I'm going to share Canva with them, with your permission, Dawn and Kathrine, is the best ways to execute exquisite care during COVID. So I've had grown men come in with pictures of their wives' essential oils and their, what's the name of the machine that steams the essential oils? The diffuser. I've had men come in with gamified memes, now being diffuser dads. There's been some really fun apps that are helping strengthen remote cultures during their Zoom rooms around how I'm staying healthy and well from a mental and a physical wellness point of view during their Zoom rooms. Another was the best referral hacks, how I helped people in my department amp up their leadership life, talking about how they've given them opportunities internally and showcasing how the best leaders are not the ones that are banging on their chest saying, look at me, look at me. The best leaders are actually the ones who are quietly sitting back and helping someone in a quiet way be more successful. So using gamification and apps to be able to showcase how team members are helping their colleagues become more proficient in the workspace with their leadership skills. One of the big shifts that we're seeing in the leadership space is, I know in the introduction, I'm not sure if Bonnie brought it to the forefront, I can't remember now, but last year I did a deep dive going back into the classroom as a college professor. And after spending years of teaching monetary policy in the graduate school or macroeconomics in the undergraduate, schools, whether it was Monmouth or Brookdale or Kane, I asked for the opportunity to become a speech professor because I figured, you know what, 10 years of experience and a lot of business contacts, I can really help these young people that are being raised and educated on screens. I can really help them start to develop some more dominant messaging skills with their languaging. And so while great leaders are proficient speakers, what we're finding with COVID is there is a big and different emphasis now on not just being a prolific speaker and clear communicator, but also being an empathetic leader and someone who is open-minded, compassionate, patient, and kind. And so my colleague from Brookdale, who's actually in the psychology and social work department, said, gee, DonnaLyn, did you ever think as a Wall Street, originating careerist that you'd ever be talking about the power of compassion as one of the service leadership trends that's coursing through all of your work today? And I said, no, 30 years ago, I would have never guessed that compassion and kindness would be at the forefront of what's trending for leaders in communication styles, but that's exactly what we're doing now. So it's all about being able to be a compassionate, open-minded, but also highly organized communicator, because everybody is overstimulated and has very little time. I was on the phone, imagine that, with a law school graduate student who wanted to do some coaching about interviewing for a job. And I said to her, how are things going with your online law school curriculum? And she said, well, yeah, good, except everybody tunes out on our 3-hour lecture halls in 20 minutes. So let that be a heads up to any of you that are doing training or coaching or teaching. The bandwidth for young students is 20 minutes max, even if they're in a 3-hour classroom. So again, it's all about changing things up, doing a quiz, running a poll, using a breakout room, and really limiting your time accordingly. Quickly, because I know I'm running out of time, it's an important trend, and it's the one that, I think is most exciting, very honestly, because I love millennials. So I'm falling more deeply in love with Gen Z. Gen Z is all about spaceships, SPACs, and flying cars, okay? They are becoming millionaires by gamifying on Robinhood. I have had students come into my classroom saying, I've just made my first million, as they're shutting down their cell phones. They are making money as day traders. They are hijacking what we have been raised to know is true in terms of being an effective and long-term investor. I would love feedback, especially from Erika and Dorothea, about what they're seeing here. They're probably cringing because as staid financial planners, you want people to have a long-term view and not get burned like so many people did with GameStop, last week or the week before. But this is the third trend that you need to be aware of, whether you're hiring Generation Z or millennials, whether you're working with them and they are dealing with, or you are dealing with technoference, which again is my second question, is defined as lack of ability to focus and concentrate because they're on their smart devices. So it's not a financial term. It's a term in the psychosocial space that has to do with being able to be totally present with the people that you're communicating with. And so when you're experiencing technoference at the dinner table, it might mean that your millennial or your Gen Zer is on their phone and not having a conversation with grandma, grandpa, or you at the dinner table. That's what technoference is, all right? So today we looked at 3 really important trends that are taking over as I see it when I'm doing leadership work and being requested to come in and train teams and bring them up to speed. Number 1, the importance of embracing all 5 generations. Number 2, the importance of recognizing that COVID is not going away, even though we are going to start opening things back up. We still need to be sensitive and compassionate about everybody having a different COVID experience. The fact of the matter is 30% of New Jersey small businesses are gone for good. The good news for New Jersey is we are still number 11 across the country in terms of being the largest of states where small business are considered to be an essential component of our booming industry. That's according to research recently released by the New Jersey Office of Small Business Advocacy. So the polls that are being done by Kiplinger Magazine, by Fortune, by Forbes, they're all saying that 20% of people are never going back to work. 2/3 of people love working from home. 1/3 miss their colleagues, and about 5% don't like working from home at all. So the overall trend is it's a total mixed bag for everybody, but you need to be compassionate and listen and take the time to understand what people have gone through, because I'm sure I am not alone. I have lost colleagues. I have lost friends. We have lost family members. But the benefit is we're here. We're here to help one another succeed. We're probably enjoying a higher quality of life because of work-life balance. You know, if you're not homeschooling 4 young kids, corporations are certainly saving money, but there is no doubt that the future is going to be absolutely around flex time, contract work, non-traditional work arrangements, no more big main offices, FaceTime 5 days a week. It's going to be satellite offices for occasional meetings to solve complex problems. Nobody's going to have a desk. It's going to be all open conference tables. But again, sensitized to the fact that it's not all rainbows and unicorns for everybody. People have suffered and will continue to do so. So what we did today is we talked about 3 major trends that are impacting your business, your hiring, your life. Watch for these trends. I love your feedback. You can connect with me on my socials at DonnaLyn Speaks. DonnaLyn Consults on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or donnalynspeaks@gmail. And I think I'm on the money with time. So I'm going to close it down and thank everybody for their attention.
Thank you, DonnaLyn.
Welcome.
It was excellent. And every time I hear you speak, I learn again so many
Hopefully you passed the quiz, Sherilyn.
Yeah.
Hopefully you passed the quiz.
I did okay. I have to laugh. I've got a 19-year-old, like many do in the home, and I get teased along with my husband and corrected.
Okay,
So
Boomer.
we laugh. Exactly. We laugh a lot. It's a lot of fun. By the way, excellent coach also. DonnaLyn was a coach of mine a few years ago, and a friend also. And something though, if you want to learn about all this information she has, she's always open to sharing her reading material. So ask her for that, but she's got some top picks that I always find very intriguing. So impactful. We have time for just a few questions. Yep, there she is. See, she's got them up there. So I'm sure she would be happy to share those. So
ask away.
Yep, exactly. So it's fantastic. Questions. We have time for just a few. Anybody want to raise their hand? We have a lot of people here. Great. Kathrine, I see you first. So go ahead.
Thank you for that great presentation. I really appreciate it. As a fellow Gen Zer, I had a question about Gen Z. Do you think we have our own generation due to our contributions and access to technology solely, or do you think there's more factors on top of all that that contributes to the Gen Z category?
Like what, Kathrine? What are you referring to?
Such as, our education is mainly online at this moment of time. Maybe the way that we were potentially raised, our access to different sources through the online sources. I feel like the online contribution is a huge part of it, but I wonder, on your opinion, is there more factors than just,
So I'm going to answer this question based on 2 years of being up close and personal with Gen Z or the colleagues were like, oh my gosh. We taught this summer at Brookdale an asynchronous speech communication class and a synchronous communication class. And for those of you that are still a little unclear about the difference, asynchronous is absolutely no Zoom room component. Synchronous is this, having a Zoom room, but doing a lot of work online. But asynchronous speech communication is uploading YouTube speeches and sending them to me without any human contact with the professor. So at the end of the semester, we do SORs, which are student opinion reviews. And one of the reviews that came in was, hey, DonnaLyn, I loved your speech class because I never had to talk to you and I never had to talk to any of my colleagues. And I got to do my class in my pajamas in the comfort of my bed. Thank you so much. Loved your class. And we were all dying of laughter because we thought, wow, first of all, completely honest, loved that. Second of all, she earned an A. Her speaking prowess was amazing. But my colleagues that were boomers were mortified because their reaction was, that's not a compliment. That's a crazy way to feel like you were succeeding in the classroom. And I said, wait a second, this is more about you wanting them to conform to our way of teaching, reaching, and how we were raised. And so again, it goes to my first trending point. I don't believe that my way was better than how you're learning. I think a lot of Gen Zs are way ahead of the game. You are so much smarter than I was when I was 20, right? And I'm just speaking for myself. So I say, if it's not your jam, what traditional education looks like, then you keep doing your online thing. I will say, however, that my concern with Gen Z and with the millennials is the up-leveling of anxiety and social discomfort in getting on the phone for an interview, getting on a Zoom room to have a conversation. I actually had one of my students say to me, I am ghosting my interview today because they want me to get on the phone and I don't have phone conversations with anybody at any time. Oh, wow. All I do is text. And if they can't analyze me as a candidate for their company via text, then I'm not applying for the job. So, you know, there's a lot there to digest for the people in this big Zoom room today that are saying, oh my gosh, maybe I wasn't ghosted because I'm not paying enough money or because the job description isn't spot on. It's because I'm asking people to meet me on the phone to have a conversation, and Gen Zs don't want to talk. A long answer to a question.
No,
Thank you.
Okay. So I think just because of time, so put your questions in on chat, and if it's okay, because I know that because that's all we do is Zoom, some have to drop off, and we want to get into the fun, that big basket we have coming. But DonnaLyn, if you can stay just a few minutes after for those that might just want to chit chat a little bit, we will be here. All right. So Mary Ellen, quickly though, just the other, just if you want to, I lost her on there. There you are. If you just want to quickly wrap it up with us, that'd be great.
Sure, absolutely. So DonnaLyn, always a pleasure, of course, to hear you speak. Thank you for these fantastic insights. These are the new realities of the workplace, and whether you are a solopreneur like I am, or you work for a huge company like my husband does, these are the realities of the workplace. And these are really so many things for everybody to think about. So I really appreciate it. I think this is a really interesting conversation.
Thank you. I'm glad you found value, Mary Ellen.
Yes. So as our tradition with the committee, we always present you with flowers. So obviously we're not going to do that over Zoom. So I believe that you're going to be hearing from, getting a visit from Sherilyn later today with some flowers. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much
for your contributions and your wonderful insights as always.
My pleasure.
I know. I should have had the flowers right in my hands here, but
we're good, girl. I get to see you. Ring the doorbell. Don't run away.
I know. I won't. Thank you again. And put those comments in chat. Thanks for all the comments. I'm going to turn it over to Trez, but before I do that, I have to big shout out to Trez and Rochelle. Rochelle couldn't make it. Without the office, we could not do this. So thank you so much for your constant support in all the events and this Women in Business Luncheon, and for pushing us to do this, because there's a lot of reservations. So thank you, Trez, and thank you, Rochelle. So turning it over to Therese and Debbie.
Yes, Debbie, I know Debbie and I had spoken yesterday, but it was before I didn't tell her about the raffle because I didn't know we were gonna have her as a part of this. But Debbie, is there anything you want to add before I get the raffle going?
Unmute. Debbie, unmute. Oh.
Can you unmute?
Unmute, Deb. There she goes. She's getting it. She's getting to her phone. I think she's on her phone.
Yeah, that makes it challenging. Where are you? Can we
Got it, Deb? We still don't hear you.
Okay. All right, well, she's unmuting. I do want to say, Tara, say a few words. Please tell us what's in this basket we're about to raffle off.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks to the generous support of some of the ladies and the team, we have Patricia's of Homedale, donated by Holly at BCB Bank, and Patricia's for $100.
Nice.
We have Susie's Chocolate. Sherilyn was generous to donate $25 gift certificate, so you could pick out your own chocolate at Susie's in Middletown. And we have No Limits Cafe, two $50 gift certificates donated by Bonnie and by Anne, right, Anne? Anne Dubon. So thank you very much. And then the piece de resistance here is Bonavista Red. I'm trying to read it. A huge bottle, $45 value from Jerry. And we have the CMIT Solutions of Monmouth, beautiful mahogany case. And when you open it up, right here are all the wine accessories that you need, donated by Matali. So thank you very much, ladies. This is a great gift. And whoever wins, you can PM me and we will get that gift to you. Okay.
Fantastic. And it started out as a $250 basket. And I think, Tara, it's over $350 now because everybody kept donating.
I think
more.
so. Yeah, those gift certificates alone.
Yeah.
Nice job, ladies.
Thank you, everybody, for participating in the basket. And what we did was we're taking the first 30 people that registered and we put their names on a wheel. I just want to see, let's see. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and we're going to spin a wheel. This should be fun. I don't know if the audio is going to come through. I hope it does, but we have all the names on this wheel. And it's a wheel of names. And oh, where is it? It's supposed to be here. This is fun. Let's see what's going on. It says wheel of names right there. Can you see the empty screen right now?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. All right, it's spinning. All right, is Liz Rizzolo in the room? Liz Rizzolo, are you in the room? Because you have to be present to win it. Liz Rizzolo, unmute yourself and say that you're here. Otherwise, we're spinning it again.
I lost my screen, so can you see if she's on?
Yeah, I can't because I have the wheel on my screen.
I
all
don't
right.
see her. I don't see her.
You don't see her? Whoever's checking. No, Liz. All right, I'm gonna spin again.
Yeah, she's not here.
Okay, so I'm gonna spin it again. Hopefully she won't come on.
Second time.
Oh, Danielle, she just left.
Hold on. Oh.
She said she had a 1 o'clock call in the chat. She's going to be so bummed, but we did say you have to be present to win it. That's why you got to stay at the end. But obviously 1 o'clock, she had some business. So I will remove her name and let's go spin it again.
There's a potential if we can get the right color. Last time you pulled over a champagne.
I know you're still here, right, Dawn?
Dawn.
Gotcha.
I'm here. Yay! I'm excited. Thanks.
Time is a charm. All right, so I'm gonna close this, and I'm gonna add a few more notes because DonnaLyn, is there something that you're throwing into this? I heard.
I'll be happy to do a half-hour coaching session I shared with Sherilyn.
Yes, I wanted it to be a surprise because that half an hour is very valuable. So anyone who's going to win this, it's a great gift.
I'm putting you to work.
All right, so I'm going to add a few more names. The committee has taken themselves out, but I'm going to put them back in. Here we go, back to the wheel. I'm just going to add them in here. Get their names in there and let's do it again. Oh, just so close. Anne. I can't see everybody, so I believe she should still be on. I'm gonna.
Anne, are you there?
Anne said she had to jump.
Oh my goodness! We're
Anne
gonna
had to
remove her
leave.
name.
Then again.
And we're gonna spin for the last time, hopefully. All right, Jackie.
She was on.
Are you still there, Jackie?
I'm here.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Yes. Yay! I'm so glad.
I came on late, but I'm here now.
All right, yay. Good to see you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Jackie.
Hey.
And Dawn, now I can see everybody again. That was great. So that was fun, Trez. I love that wheel.
Could you hear the sounds? I wasn't sure.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, good.
And there was applauding too.
Yes, I'm confetti. I love that wheel.
Things that we can do nowadays via Zoom. So that's pretty much it. Again, if you want to stay on though for a few minutes, DonnaLyn, if you have a few more minutes, just, I guess.
I'm happy to stick around. I'm writing down some of the books and the resources for those of you that want to do some further reading on some of the content we talked about today.
Great.
Excellent. And also everybody, if you want to save the chat, if you go in the chat on the lower right-hand corner, there's 3 dots.
Yeah.
Click on those 3 dots. It saves the entire chat room to your computer so you can review it later on. And if you haven't put in your information, please put your information in the chat. And DonnaLyn, I wanted to say the name of the app that you were using for the games that you were playing.
Sure, in the classroom.
Yeah.
So the one that I use in the classroom is Kahoot, K-A-H-O-O-T.
Yeah. So I just want to let you know,
yeah.
Kathrine, you can unmute yourself. Kathrine, tell her how what you do with Kahoot.
So we use Kahoot for game night for the chamber.
There you go.
I used it in college, so it's a very fun platform.
There you go. Did you learn of the app from your college professor, or did you teach your college professor about the app? Just curious.
So I'm not going to age myself, but I've actually been using it since middle school.
I love it. It's all good. Everybody's collaborating and everybody's winning. That's the name of the game.
It's the way to be more interactive in the classroom. So I brought it into like presentations when I was in college in order to engage my audience.
Awesome.
I did a lot of the teaching, but it helps.
And not that I'm aging myself, but I never heard about it until I played the game with Kathrine.
Me neither.
It's a lot of fun.
That was the first time with playing the game with Kathrine.
It was a lot.
Yeah, in case you want other apps, Quizlet and Quiziz, Q-U-I-Z-I-Z-Z is another great app, and Quizlet, Q-U-I-Z-L-E-T, but they're competitors with Kahoot. So if you're comfortable with Kahoot, stay with it. Just letting you know.
I use Quizlet to study. I didn't realize
There you go.
An interactive.
Super. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, DonnaLyn. Always enlightening, fun,
pleasure.
Educational. We always love having you as a speaker for anything for the chamber. So thank you.
Pleasure, Therese. Thank you.
We really do. We really, it's just excellent. Like it's
One of the nice things is we're all playing in different ponds, right? Some of us are in nonprofit locally. Some of us are in profit nationally. Some of us are, everybody has something to contribute. And because the world is moving so fast, it's great to have forums like this. Thank you for the leadership team for doing this, because this is where the small entrepreneur gets to find out what's going on in the bigger space, because there's always something to learn and apply.
You really stop and think. I'm sitting here listening to you and I'm going, oh yeah, right? I'm sure everybody was doing that, but it does make you stop and really think about our communication.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, everything that DonnaLyn said was on point. I mean, quick story. I was going after a prospect and he was ghosting me on email and not taking my phone calls, and he's in his mid-30s. I texted him.
There you go.
He answered me and I ended up doing business with him.
Oh, Bonnie, totally. And that is such an important testimonial, because a lot of times as a boomer, you think, okay, they're not interested. We're used to rejection in the insurance industry. It happens. Move on to the next prospect. It's a numbers game. But at the end of the day, it's got nothing to do with any of that. It has everything to do with how do they choose to communicate.
Yep.
So that is an excellent testimonial. I have gotten some of the most heartfelt, incredibly poignant texts from some of my young Gen Z and Gen Y mentees. They would never express to me in person the depth of that emotion. They, in my mind, are hiding behind a text, but in their mind, that's the only way they communicate. So they're not hiding. So everybody's got to adjust, right? I had to learn how to relax. Oh, they're rude, or oh, they're unrefined, or oh, that nobody has manners anymore. That's all old school thinking. What you have to do is shift and say, how is their world changing, and how am I giving them encouragement to express themselves the way that they're most comfortable expressing it? And once you do that, if it wasn't for Instagram, I wouldn't hear from my nieces and nephews, because they don't call, right? They don't text. It's all Instagram. But you got to find out where people are hanging out and then go from there.
Can I say something?
Of course.
Isn't it a little bit, I mean, I just went in chat. I have 33-year-old twin daughters and I have a 22-year-old son. So millennial, kind of on the cusp both ways.
Yeah.
Isn't it a little bit, I mean, I know I'm old school, but isn't it a little bit of a disservice to them, since you did mention that they have trouble talking, they have trouble sitting? Isn't that like the warmth that everybody needs a little bit?
Absolutely, Lorinda. We absolutely need it. My only point is they're not in a place yet where those skills are being called upon, because they're either not working. House is the culture of you've got to stand in front of a board of directors and pitch, or you've got to win a client by making a presentation. When those things happen for them and they realize, oh my gosh, I have to up my game, then they're contacting me on LinkedIn and saying, remember that speech communication class? I saved the notes and now I understand why I was being tested and called to do all those things, because now I have to do it. Sometimes the light doesn't go on until they're 28 or 35 in that job where it requires that they have to communicate with all 5 generations. Because you're absolutely right. If somebody wants to sell me something, they have to get on the phone with me. If somebody wants to offer their consultative services, I need to develop a relationship. You're not going to text me and get my attention.
But it's also like a communication issue, because even to tell your mom I love you, it's text. Like, just, I'm not saying for business, I'm saying just like they're saying in school, they should teach them how to balance a checkbook. Maybe they're going to have to teach them how to talk warmly, like a little bit from the old people.
So Lorinda, you are hitting on a very important point, because I just had this discussion with a 28-year-old who got a job because a boomer opened the door for them. And I sat down with them and I said, it is, in my opinion, I always start with, in my opinion, it is a good idea for you to consider, not you must do, right? For you to consider, how does that person want to be valued? And they looked at me and they said, oh, you mean a thank you? I said, yeah, not a text thank you, actually a thank you note with a stamp on it. And they said to me, I've never addressed an envelope. I don't do cash. I've never done a stamp. So you have to remember, these young people, cryptocurrency, debit cards, e-cash, PayPal money, it's a totally different world. But I agree with you, and that's why I sat down with them and said, that boomer that opened up that door for you, I will guarantee, I'll put money on it, I'll put cryptocurrency on it, they will enjoy hearing from you with a hand-penned thank you note. And they did it. But until I had that conversation with them, and again, I'm not their mother, so it's not an emotional relationship. I'm a coach, right? I'm saying to them, 5 generations, we're not the only ones that have to learn about you. You have to learn about us. Absolutely, all day long, because that's mutually respectable relationship building.
Because I'm flying with my son. I wrote in the chat, I'd like to see those books you held up, because my son and I could barely talk. My daughter's, like I said, 33. They're cool, but my son and I, 22.
Here's the book for you.
Okay.
It's called Sticking Points. And it is how 5 generations work together in the 12 places that they usually fall apart. And I'm sure the falling apart in those 12 places are something that you can identify with your son. And there are immediately usable tips on how to forge that divide.
Okay.
This is a
I'm
great
already
book.
reading Talk Ships, so I'm trying.
Right. No, but you know what? I give you so much credit. Thank you, A, for being honest and forthright, because I think a lot of people in the Zoom room are dealing with this issue with communication, divergent communication styles, whether it's with their children, their nieces or nephews, etc. And it is hard because originally I remember I used to say to my husband, my God, these kids, they're so ungrateful because they don't even say thank you. And my husband would look at me and say, okay, but if you're giving because you're looking for a thank you, then you're giving for the wrong reason. And I'm saying, no, I'm not giving because I'm looking for a thank you, but it's common courtesy.
Courtesy, yep.
And I don't need I would love a thank you note, but I don't need one. But I would love to be able to help
you. Something about their character when they show appreciation, but they're not doing it not to be rude, but they don't get it. Like,
correct.
Know it. I shouldn't say get it.
No, correct. Because I will tell you, I've had some extraordinary conversations, mostly in the corporate space with forging these divides. But, I've sat down with Gen Zs and millennials, and I've said, do you know that you never take your earplugs off in the cubicle and your boss is in the cubicle next door and she has to stand up and do this to get your attention to get an answer. And you're literally 2 humans within 6 feet of one another. And they said, we're just trying to be efficient and drown out the competing office noise so we can be more productive in our work. And I'm saying, okay, but that's being perceived as being rude and uncaring, because your manager shouldn't have to get up and do Simon Says to get your attention. So it's, oh, I had no idea that they were, okay.
And also the synergy between the boomer that helped the 28-year-old, good hooray for both of them, because a lot of boomers roll their eyes and say, he won't listen. And a lot of millennials, 28 years old, they don't listen. They think, I said to my son, I've been on the earth for a long time. Maybe I knew a little tiny bit more. Nope. So that 28-year-old is a rare, that he took that door. He walked through that door.
So the 28-year-old that I was referring to came to this country with nothing.
Okay.
And he ended up on our doorstep as a foreign exchange student. He has a different set of life circumstances. He was very indebted because he didn't have a support system. So a little bit more of a complex.
Not really millennial. Yeah.
Right. But today, now, he's starting to climb the corporate ladder, and now he's coming to us. And I'm sure most parents have this experience eventually, but he's coming back to me and he's saying, oh my gosh, you were so right about this. I'm dealing with this political situation at the office. I had no idea. He said, you know, I remember actually being on record and saying to you that boomers are slow, dumb, and technologically
challenged.
You know, yeah, backward. He said, now I'm starting to understand that the value that they're bringing is life experience,
yes,
resiliency, pivoting skills, because these kids with COVID, they're melting down. I have friends that are trauma therapists. These kids are, it's heartbreaking.
Yep.
Okay. They're medicated. They're losing their mental heft, their mental health heft. They're not able to be resilient because it's the first time that they're really dealing with an overwhelming crisis. And the rest of us are like, put it on the pile. I've beat cancer. I've lived through a divorce. I've lived through domestic violence. I know what it's like to, go to a food bank because I was on welfare when I was a young mother. I mean, so they're starting to appreciate that we have gifts to share that you can't pay for and technology can't train them on.
Wow, that's
Gilda,
good news.
that was great, Gilda.
Yes, thank you.
And first of all, I want you to be recognized for doing something on Facebook that was of great help to us.
Oh, what's that?
You posted there about somebody to remove snow, and people have heard me complain. It's not because I want to complain. I take being walled in by a wall of ice and not being able to move it, because I'm always thinking I'm a survivor of September 11th. And my first thought as a boomer is, if I have to get out or get someone in here, that process is going to slow down and I might not live to tell about the experience. So big hug, virtual hug. I am in the insurance business now on my own.
Yes.
I had the opportunity to network and employ someone who's close to 30. I guess they're a millennial. You call them millennials?
Well, yes, millennials are from age 20 to age 40. Okay.
This young man has helped me immeasurably. I'm also a BNI member, and I've used him. It's not you can't have a long PowerPoint presentation, but enough to clean up and get the attention of my audience, because I'm trying to send you a message. It doesn't mean I know everything. Absolutely. And I don't do well with people like that. I don't. So I try not to be that way. This young man that has been working for us for the past year is worth every penny I paid him.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Say, look, I have this, and he made me look so good. It's not funny. It is such a good thing. And one thing I've learned, I'm an only child, so I don't have the experience of siblings. I had to learn how to get along with other people from a young age. And with these younger people, I will tell them, this is what I want. How do we do it?
Absolutely.
How do we do it?
Absolutely.
And it is wonderful. And I'm hoping that over the time I'm in business, that will serve as a good example. That's all I want. The money will follow. And
well, thank you for sharing your story. And I'm so glad, Gilda, that things are working out and that you're collaborating with young talent and you're both going to your strengths. You'll be a tremendous testimonial for him as he grows his business, because he'll be able to come back to you and say, hey, can you throw out a Bravo testimonial on LinkedIn about how I was able to help you brand build? And you'll be able to refer to him, and it's all, everybody wins, but you got to go to your strengths, and you can't turn your nose up so soon around this isn't a good fit. You have to find a way, as I said in the very beginning, understanding and loving people. You got to love people and you have to take the time to understand where they're coming from.
Absolutely, and thank you again. And hopefully there'll be beauty in the beach. This fall.
We're working on it.
And I promise that I will bring my fudge supply if anybody's interested. I make friends with that.
Thank you, Gilda.
That's great.
Thank you, Gilda. All right, any other questions?
You know, we could ask away, but we do know it's time to let you go.
Well, no,
But it
no,
was
it's,
just
it's
so
all
good.
it's all good. Listen, it's a sunny day, and you know I'm a skier, so I'm looking out there and I'm saying it might be my last dibs over in Thompson Park on cross country skis before the snow all melts. But I enjoyed this thoroughly, and Therese, please know that if there's any follow-up questions, burning, follow-ups, I put the 2 titles of the 2 books in the chat room. But if anybody has anything else from a resource or a content point of view, if I went too fast, I'm an email away. I'm happy to support you guys.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Lorinda. Get that book, Lorinda. Go get it.
DonnaLyn, excellent.
Oh, thanks, Al. Good to see you, Al.
You're still there.
Peace.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. It was excellent. Thank you. Thank you.
Again to our sponsors, BCB Bank and Imaging Interventions.
Now I got to get some flowers delivered.
Yes.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
All right.
Bye, Lorinda.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Good to see everybody.
Great to see you. Bye, Carrie.
Bye.